Hey guys, and happy Friday. So let's get right into these DIYs. So for DIY number one, you are going to need one of these little candle jars from the Dollar Tree. Now these are just the ones that they usually have. You can find them just about any time. What I did was I went outside and I spray painted this one silver. And I have so many of these. So what I do is just once they are done, once I'm done burning them, I boil some hot water, pour it in there, let it sit, let it cool off, and all of the wax just kind of melts up to the top, and then you can just pull it out and then clean it up. So I'm going to be galvanizing this now. Again, I just did a couple of DIYs with this method. I use black, silver, gray, and white paint, and I'm going to be using a makeup sponge for it. And there was a little gap in the seal, so it looks kind of weird, but it's okay. So what I'm going to be doing is just kind of making my little palette here. Again, this is the gray, and usually I use pewter gray, but I don't have any right now, so I've been using this dark gray, and it's working okay. I don't really like the color that it's giving, but it's working for right now. So then I'm going to be using some silver. This is silver from Dollar General, and then some black. This is my Waverly ink, and I'll be using that one. And then I'm going to be using the white acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree, and you can use obviously whatever brand you want. This is just what I happen to have like right on hand, so that is what I'm going to be using for this project. So once I've got my palette all together, I'm going to go ahead and start galvanizing. And I was trying to figure out, because it was already silver, like what colors I wanted to go with first. And I think because I'm starting with a silver base, it's not really galvanizing the way that I want it to. It came out kind of dark, so I didn't really like it too much, but I went with it anyway. First I started off with the black, and then I move on to this gray, and you're just gonna go layer by layer. And of course, if you want to just leave it silver, you can do it however you want, but this is the method that I use. And then I'm going to move on to the white and just, dabbing it on to the whole thing, and then moving on to the silver. Now, like I said, this one came out kind of dark. I'm not really sure why. It looked fine when I was doing it, and then when it dried, it kind of dried a little bit too dark. So, you just kind of have to adjust it. I'll probably add a little bit more silver, a little bit later, but I mean, it looks nice. It just didn't look the way that I wanted it to look once it dried, but again, it still looks nice. And then I did not rust this piece like I usually do my galvanized pieces. I just kind of left it the way that it was. So for the little handles for this, if you didn't know, I'm making a little milk canister, milk jug. And I made a bigger version of this, and I'll include a card for it, and I'll put it in the description box as well. I'm just going to take these miniature, the small zip ties, and I'm going to go ahead and lighten it up, put some silver and some gray on it just to lighten it up. I ended up spray painting it and then kind of covering it up with the gray and the black to make it match the jug, but I had to take it outside and spray paint it, so I'm going to do that now. And then this is what it looks like once it's spray painted, and I kind of adjust the color with the black and the gray. So in the video, I went ahead and I hot glued it on there, but you're going to want to use some crazy glue. Once I was done doing this project, one of the sides did pop off, so I ended up just going through and putting a small dab of like super glue. I used this Aleene's super glue, but obviously you can use crazy glue or E6000 or whatever, but the super glue bonded quickly, and it's been like that ever since I put it on there. So like I said, I would just recommend putting some crazy glue or super glue or something like that on this one as well as the next project. Just, like I said, for video purposes, I ended up using hot glue, but you definitely want to use some crazy glue or super glue or something like that. So I wanted, excuse me, I wanted this one to look more like my bigger version of it. So I did just add this little chalk label on there, and I got these at Dollar Tree not too long ago. So I just put that on there, and this is what it looks like when it's all done. I love it, and here's my bigger version of it. I'll include the video for this in my description box, like I said before. So today I'm participating in Crafted by Corie's Minis challenge. I love this challenge. She does it every month. And I love minis, so I love participating. And if you're coming over here from the playlist, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. And if you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment down below. Let me know you came over from the playlist, and let me know which one is your favorite. I'm going to have all the information for the challenge and Corie's channel in my description box, so be sure to check her out. Let her know I sent you, and check out the playlist and enjoy all the other minis that everyone's going to create. So for my second DIY, you're going to need these mini like solo cup shot glasses, and I got these at the Dollar Tree, and they usually have them on like the little strips that hang, at the end caps there. But I've seen them at Dollar General, and I think I've seen them at my grocery stores as well. So, they're not hard to find. And the other day I made a pitcher using the Dollar Tree galvanized buckets. So I'm just making a mini version of this, and I thought these cups would be perfect. So what you're going to do is kind of mark out the shape of the top of the pitcher. And then what I learned was you're going to have to cut the top of it halfway, or as far down as you want it to go, and then you're going to cut around halfway and then go around to the other side and cut the other half, or else you're going to end up breaking the cup. So just a little tip, because I ended up doing this a couple times and I broke a couple cups. So that's what you end up having to do. And I also cut the bottoms out of both cups. That way you can actually put something in it. And then what I'm going to do is just hot glue the two bottoms of the cups together so that you make a pitcher. And it ends up being a little vase. And make sure your glue is on low temp, or else it's going to melt the cup. So I just went ahead, glued those together. And then at this point, if you don't like the shape of the top, you can, kind of cut it down, adjust it. And if you want to smooth it out, you can either go to your stove and get a flat pan and kind of just go over, heat it up and just go over the top of it. I'll include a video where I did this so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Or you can take your glue gun and just kind of go over the edge so that it's not, it's not super sharp because it's plastic, but, just so that it's a little bit smoother. But that's, optional. But like I said, I'll go ahead and link that other video in the description box so you can see what I'm talking about. Then once I was done shaping it, I went ahead and I spray painted this one silver. And again, I think spray painting it silver is kind of messing with my like galvanizing method, if that makes sense. So I would actually suggest painting it white if you're going to galvanize it, and the color just comes out a lot better. I don't think the silver was really working very well. Now you can also just spray paint it silver, and while it's still wet, kind of just get a paper towel or something and blot it. That works too. I don't know. I don't think it really looks too galvanized, but it's a, opinion. You can do however you want. That's just an easier way to do it. Then I'm just going to take this little jute twine and just wrap it around the middle. It doesn't look too bad, but I kind of want to add a little bit of an embellishment. And my original one had a little heart shape in the middle with some stickers, but this was so small that I couldn't do that. So I just decided to take some jute twine and put it in the middle there. So I ended up getting another zip tie, and when I spray painted my other one, I spray painted this one, and this is what you're going to use to make your handle. I just went ahead and cut it down to the size that I wanted it. And then again, I hot glued it in the video, but you're going to want to use some crazy glue, super glue, E6000, something like that, to give it that long-term hold, because it's just going to pop off. And again, use your glue on low temp so that you don't melt, excuse me, melt your cup. Excuse me. Sorry for the frog in my throat, but it is like 5 in the morning and my voice hasn't woken up yet. So, again, so here we go. I'm just hot gluing the bottom. You don't need a whole lot. And if you want, you can actually do this part before you paint it. And the hot glue may hold, well, it will hold better. I wasn't thinking when I was doing this, so I didn't do that. And here's what it looks like all done and in comparison to the big one that I made. I'll include that link in the description box and in the card above here. So for DIY number 3, these are the little wood domino pieces from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to kind of etch out the shape of a cutting board, and I'm going to make a little mini cutting board out of this piece. Now, if you wanted to, you can cut out 2 of them and kind of glue them back to back. I didn't do that just because, you know, I don't know, I didn't think it was necessary. But if you want it to be a little bit thicker and you want both sides to be finished, you can just etch out 2 of them, glue them together, and then you'll have a wood, wood pieces on both sides. So once I etched it out, I just got my scissors and I cut on each side first, and then I cut the little handle out, and you're gonna have to just sand it down, kind of smooth it out, smooth the edges, round the edges out, and it works out perfectly. You can shape it however you want once you're done cutting it, and they're so thin, so you're able to kind of manipulate them just a little bit easier, than like a big thick piece of wood. So here's my little handy dandy hand sander here. And you're just going to sand it down, like I said, smooth out all those rough edges and kind of round off the corners there, just to make it look more like a cutting board. And of course, if you want it to be like a longer cutting board or thinner, whatever you want, you just kind of shape it up how you want to. And then I'm going to take these, I use these, furniture correcting markers that I get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna stain it. This is just easier when you're staining small pieces. So I do the whole front side, and I also do along the edges, and I think I might have cut that piece, cut that out. But you're just gonna go ahead and stain the whole thing. And then I just went ahead, oh, I didn't cut it out. So yeah, so you just, stain the edges, and then I ended up painting the back side white. But like I said, if you want it to be a little bit more finished, you can cut 2 pieces and, glue them together so that both sides are wood. Then I'm going to take my little hand drill that I got from Beebeecraft, and I have that linked in my description box as well. This thing comes in handy for little projects like this, where, you don't want to use a drill, or if you're intimidated by tools, which I would, encourage you not to be, but if you are, or if you just don't have them, this thing was like $12, $10 or $12, and it works great. Like I said, for little projects like this, it even works, well for bigger projects, but it comes with like 20 different sizes, and you can make, use them for all different types of things, and it's so easy. Then I'm just going to take, and like I said, I'm using that just to put a little hole on the top so that I can put my jute twine through it. And then I did take a black Sharpie and I wrote Farm Fresh on there. You can obviously write whatever you want on there, put a little sticker on there, you know, use a vinyl. It's so small, I didn't want to use my vinyl, I didn't want to use my Cricut to put a vinyl on there. But if you have any cute little stickers or scratch-ons or anything like that, that'd be cute. Or just put your initial on there and that'd be cute too. And this is what it looks like. And then for DIY number 4 and my final one, you're going to grab one of these lasagna trays or any of the trays from Dollar Tree that have this little ridged edge. It looks like corrugated metal to me, so that's why I'm using it. Or you can just take some aluminum foil, kind of fold it up zigzag like that, or you can galvanize a piece of construction paper or regular paper. There's so many different options, but you're going to see here what I'm going to use it for. And, then, or you can line up some popsicle sticks and then take some aluminum foil and cover that. I'm going to be using a piece of little leftover foam core from Dollar Tree and I was going to say safety pin, a clothespin. I just took the metal piece off of it. Then I got these little wood shapes from the Dollar Tree over the summer, and I just took this rectangular piece, but you could use a bigger popsicle stick or craft stick and cut it up to the size that you needed. So I'm just measuring everything out, just kind of fitting everything together, and I'm going to make a mini washboard. Now, my end product for this one wasn't as great as I wanted because I ended up getting like hot glue on the clothespin. So when I stained it, obviously the stain didn't take very well over the hot glue. So just be careful when you are gluing it that you don't get hot glue onto your wood, so that, when you stain it or paint it, the color kind of goes well. So what I'm doing is measuring everything against this rectangular piece. And as you can see there, I can't cut a straight line. So I end up having to kind of adjust and trim some pieces off once I'm done here. But I'm just going to go ahead and measure the foam board piece. Cut that where I need to cut it, and then once I'm done, cutting all the pieces and getting the right sizes, I'm gonna put everything and assemble everything together. So, the foam board cuts, you can use a box cutter or your X-Acto knife. I just use these scissors like for everything. So I was trying to find the straighter piece of this little metal to kind of use it to put over the foam board. And I just went ahead and I was going to cut it. I decided to just wrap it around just to kind of give both sides a more finished look. So then I ended up adjusting it so that the top can kind of come over and I could glue that onto the back. And I just used hot glue and I went ahead and glued the top on there. You can do this however you want to. You can just do the front. I'm just using the foam board to give it a little bit more stability rather than just gluing the little metal piece onto the clothespins. So, and if you don't have a clothespin, you could use popsicle sticks. If you have some chopsticks, that would work out with, pretty good too. But, I thought the clothespin was kind of, cute, and then it was the right size. So I'm going to go ahead, and then here's when I'm going to try and trim any parts off the edges there. Just kind of measure, make sure it's the size that I want it to be. Kind of get rid of that foam board on the side so that it's just the, like the metal part. And once I'm done doing that, we're going to go ahead and assemble. And like I said, the finished product for this one wasn't exactly how I wanted it to be, but I just wanted to show you how you could make one and, just kind of give you an idea of what you could use. And it still turned out really cute, at least I think so. But then what I'm going to do here is just, like I said, start assembling. I'm going to take that rectangular piece, glue it to the top of the metal, and then I'm going to use my clothespins and glue those to the side of the foam board. And it's the perfect width. Like I said, you can use popsicle sticks. It's going to be a little bit harder to glue together, but you can do it. You probably just glue the popsicle sticks, make the metal piece a little bit wider, and then glue the popsicle sticks on top of the metal. But I kind of wanted it to be on the side, so that's why I'm using my clothespins. And then we're just going to glue both of those onto the side. And once I was done doing this, I decided to put another another little rectangular wood piece onto the back, like I said, just to kind of finish it some more. And I ended up having glue all over. And I don't know why I didn't show when I stained it, but I went ahead and took my antique wax and I just stained the whole thing. You can paint it, you can leave it natural, but this is what it looks like. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, leave me a comment down below. Be sure to check out the playlist, and until next time, be blessed and be the reason someone smiles. Bye guys.